Hello everyone and welcome back to the Star Fox Adventures playthrough. Today we're going to be going to get our, third spellstone and going to go rescue some more Dinosaur Planet. One dinosaur at a time, if this little side quest is any indication. So, I used to find this quest kind of a pain in the arse when I was younger, but I've kind of figured out the method for it. It's just using the ground quake over and over again, well, I guess if you have the magic. I foolishly have decided not to get magic before this, so it's going to be a little bit more tricky. That wasn't a pun. I only realised what I said after I said it. So basically what you have to do is you have to stop these kind of little egg stealers. They're not given an official name. You have to kind of stop them from, well, stealing the eggs. Now, one method is what I'm doing here, just run around and hit them with the staff. But when you get to kind of the end of the kind of waves, I guess, it starts going a bit mental. So you're going to want to use the quake, like this. It hits every single one and it reaches all the way to the holes that they crawl out of. So, you definitely want to make use of that. There's not really that much else to it besides that. Like I've given you pretty much the best way. And they can't actually hurt you, but it's not really that powerful a hit. See what I mean about it getting a bit mental? And they can move surprisingly quickly. Like, it can kind of take you unawares, really. And a handy thing is that the eggs kind of fall back into place if they move them and you kill them. So that's kind of good, I guess. You might as well leave it here because there's no way they can get back in that time. I don't know why they ran away, honestly. Warpstone looking in the background there, very creepily. He's not moving whatsoever. Okay, now he is. That was really creepy.
I believe inside there is something that you see.
Don't tell me what to do. Now this power up we're getting is actually going to be vital for getting to the walled city, which is where we're going next. If you don't get this, then there's pretty much, you can't get there. So yeah, get it. Also, this is going to be kind of vital for us to get a upgrade I mentioned earlier, when we were at Cape Claw. So I'll show that off in a second. This kind of continues like the running trend I mentioned for all the power-ups being kind of like superfluous. Like, there's no utility for this besides using it when you need to, and I find that kind of a bit boring. Anyway, so before we go to the walled city and start the actual spellstone quest, we're going to go to Cape Claw so I can get this upgrade, because it's going to be quite helpful. So let's go. Now what you're going to want to do is, I don't know if people remember from a previous part, when we were here for the Queen Cloud Runner, for example, this door. So like this power up lets you just open these doors, really. Again, this is something that's just not explained. Why can Crystal Staff open this door? I don't know what kind of door it is. Like, why couldn't we just walk through it? Very strange. Yeah, and what you're gonna see, this is something. What you're seeing here, I only remembered this through luck. Basically, I don't like on my first playthrough, the one that got cancelled. I didn't do this because I just didn't remember it at all. So what you want to do is just use the can to shoot that rock, really. And then when you go inside it, there's another hole to go down. I think this is the last upgrade thing you can get. From what I can remember, I don't think there's another one. If there is, though, get it before you go to the walled city, because you're going to most need it then. I've also noticed a weird kind of like change between the ones that are upgrades and the kind of little like the little holes down here that are ones for like actual needed upgrades. Like the ones for the staff upgrades, like the bar. They have no water in them. You can just walk over to it. But the ones for like kind of essential upgrades have like a little moat around them. So let's go. Well, we're back at Thorntail Hollow now, so let's find out where we have to go next.
It's so nice to see you both. But I have some bad news. Your father has been taken prisoner within the walls.
Truly a great voice performance there from the Queen Earthwalker.
We've got to help him. Quick. He's right.
Don't tell me what to do, you little shit.
In the direction of the gatekeeper and we'll rescue him.
I wish it were that simple. You see, Tricky's father is the gatekeeper.
Oh my god, that was so bad at trying to build suspense. What was that?
That's all we need.
Yes, and a wise one at that.
Now, this is something that I genuinely don't understand. Is like she makes it like this is such a big deal that like he's the gatekeeper, and that we need him to kind of activate it. But he's hidden the powers behind that door.
Sorry, but
Like,
cannot break the
I don't understand why like that was such a big deal. I know that it's like, oh, it's so weird. I don't know if it was a translation error, but I don't get what the big deal is there. I swear to God, I think that's the last time you ever have to use that power. That's a very 90s music cue. That's really weird. Okay, I think we've got enough fuel cells. I think this is actually one of the last times we're going to be back in Thorntail Hollow. So yeah, get your looks in while you can, because you know we won't be coming here that many times more. I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but I love the fact that Tricky enters the bomb slot there. Maybe we could fire him as a torpedo. Well, we could do that, but unfortunately Rare thought that would be too awesome. Hell yeah, the walled city. Now, actually, I don't understand where this would be on the planet. Again, it feels very much like they've designed the planet and the parts of the planet like that are separated from it. It feels like they designed them with like no correlation between them. So it's like, would the walled city be near Thorntail Hollow? How did the Queen Earthwalker get to Thorntail Hollow? You know, from the walled city. How did she escape it? Was she already in Thorntail Hollow before it got, you know, broken up? You know, details, people, details. Now, this is actually kind of the first time we're seeing Earthwalkers, really. Like, we saw them at the beginning of the game as Christopher, but we haven't seen them as Fox. They don't really get any more interesting between those 2 points, though, so. I actually think they're one of the dullest kind of dinosaur tribes, because you don't really see them until the end of the game, and they're kind of useless. Like, you see them at the beginning, but, like, they get, like, destroyed by Scale's forces. They're not really that interesting, to be honest. I actually find this one of the more difficult R-wing sections. So I only barely did it then. Let's check out the walled city then. It's lucky there was this, you know, perfect flight pad for us. Now this is one of the shorter kind of like sections of the game. As you can see, we've only got like about 18 minutes left until the end of the part, and by the end of that, I'd have gotten the Spellstone. Well, he made it like it was so bad, but like there's an Earthwalker just standing over there. Now what you have to do is just find the king, and that just basically involves walking around here, solving a few puzzles, to be honest. And they're not really interesting puzzles, but puzzles. They're not really interesting puzzles. However, the weird thing about this is that there are T-Rex running about, and if Jurassic Park has taught me anything, run the fuck away from the T-Rex. They're actually not really that intimidating, though. They can do a shitload of damage to you if they touch you, but you really shouldn't be having that much trouble with them, to be honest. They're quite slow, and they do one fucking bit of damage. I totally forgot that. Okay, they're not intimidating in any way, shape, or form. They're pathetic. So, yeah, this is basically all you're doing is you have to kind of run up this kind of structure. I forget what the famous Wonder of the World is that's named, that is kind of shaped like this. It's the, I think it's the one in, It's one in South America, I've forgotten it. And that's really stupid of me, I should remember it. It's Mayan, I think. This can be, like, devilishly tricky if you're not expecting it, because, like, it can... The routes you're kind of sometimes forced to take are kind of, like, it's a bit random, it feels to me. They're not, but, like, it can feel that way. See, like, I mean, you have to deliberately fail that to get down there. And you want to make sure Tricky's behind you at all times, because you do actually need him for this puzzle. But I said puzzle wrong again, fuck. You do actually need him to finish this puzzle. I find that a little bit unfair, because if you make it there with like 5 seconds to spare and he isn't there, you're fucked basically. You also have to take into account the time that he takes kind of charging up his flame as well, which is a good 2 seconds. Now we do actually need to kill these red eye, but we won't be doing it until later, because we don't have the necessary power to do so. I was really looking forward to the section when I was younger, because like I love T-Rex, and like it just seemed like a really cool set piece. Yep, it's pretty boring. It really is. There's nothing going on here. Now you see those structures in the distance there. We will actually be going to those. They don't get used now, but much later we use them. There we go. I actually don't think, like, visually this place is very interesting. It's not... It's going to be a really weird comparison. It reminds me a lot of the Bugs Bunny and Taz game for the PS1. Reminds me of the Mayan era from that. Well, the moon. The moon is moving really high in the sky, and looking at it really quickly, it looks a lot like the moon from a Jaws mask. I see, like, I haven't got that much time now, so you're going to have to kind of hurry down here. Will he do it? That was a close one, though. And we're nearly done. That is basically nearly all of the walled city done. That's pretty lame, I'm going to be honest. It feels like towards the end of the game they were kind of running out of ideas, to be fair. Which you don't often see that, like people running out of ideas during one game's development. This guy's voice, I just want you people to listen to this guy's voice.
You don't have to worry about me. I am the king. Ah, the famous star fox.
He's quite clearly a voice that's being used once again.
Yeah, that's me.
How does he know who's Fox is? Who's been telling him?
You're
useless.
But I do know where you could look. To enter the lair of the Red-Eye King, you must first find the 2 sacred teeth. Not an easy task, as they are protected by the very life force of the Red-Eye tribe.
That's right, people. For the first time in the Star Fox Adventures playthrough, we're actually being given permission to murder things. Well, let me put it more specifically. We explicitly have to murder things. It's a very odd kind of thing, like, we're condemning these Red-Eye to death, basically, but the Sharpclaw get off free. Now, this is what I was saying before, where you kind of have to do, like, some random tasks. You have to kind of... I get it in a really weird way, like, you kind of have... I don't get what... The puzzles feel really out of place here, I don't know why. So what you have to do is, you have to kill all the Red-Eye, and you have to go around and hit some switches on some trees. That's it. That's all we're doing here. It's really dull. Now, the locations of these switches are basically the trees that the Earthwalkers are actually standing by. We'll kind of see them as we go through, though. And this is what I was mentioning earlier about the upgrade we were getting to one of our previous power-ups. Yeah, the super ground quake. How super. Now this takes up a shit load of, like, your magic meter. I'm just gonna call it magic meter, fuck it, I don't think I've called it that before, but it's what it is. and you need it to kill the red eye, but it takes so much of your like magic meter away. Jesus. So that's why I think if you didn't have the upgrade I got earlier, it would like one use of it would pretty much like remove all of your magic, which is pretty pitiful. Well, that's 2. There is really no technique to killing the red eye. You just use the ground quake twice on them, and that's basically it. It's very, very dull. Even the music is very dull. It's just like, it's very kind of like... I've just realised it's literally the same music from the Lightfoot Village. Thanks, David Wise. Of all the music to reuse, like... You could have picked a more interesting one. I mean, this is dull. Really dull. I mean, like, Cloud Runner Fortress and Snowhorn... No, Dark Ice Mines. I keep forgetting what it's called. They weren't the most interesting of places. Ironically, I think the areas in Dinosaur Planet are the most interesting places. The Spellstone locations are boring as shit. Just one more to get, and then we're going to go kill all the red eye. So what exactly is stopping the Earthwalkers from killing the red eye? I think in the manual it says that the Earthwalkers actually keep the red eye in line because they're kind of bloodthirsty killers. But my question is, what's stopping them from taking back their city now? They're not exactly... Well, they're kind of outnumbered, I get. No, they're not outnumbered. There's more Earthwalker here than there are red eye. Is it because their king is imprisoned? Well, he's not now. I freed him. What is stopping... That would have been such a cool cutscene, seeing Triceratops taking on Tyrannosaurus. That would have been awesome. But no, they're just left to the side because they're dull. Tricky's race is lame. I'm getting really sick of this event music piece that plays whenever you do a challenge now. It's just kind of really starting to grind on my nerves because we get it every single little challenge we have to do. I do like the pink sky though, that's pretty cool. That's a nice visual. Oh, Tricky's kind of paddling animation, it's so weird. He's doing it so quickly as well, it's like the fucking Flash. Please stop doing that behind me, Tricky. It's really disturbing. And this is just one of the teeth, people, after that exciting activity. I remember once I did that, and I forgot that the timer was running, so I just took my time going down and I fucked it up. Hell yeah. Right, let's go get the other one. So all you have to do to get the other one is just kill the red eye and go into that cave that we saw, I think, around by the Earthwalkers. Probably should have filled my magic meter up there, but whatever. Let's just kill these things. Bam. And that is basically it. I hope you weren't looking forward to that. Well, you probably wouldn't because I've been shitting on it basically the entire part. Why, Rare? Of all the Zelda conventions you could have chosen to copy, why did you not copy magic potions? Seriously. They remind me a lot of the dinosaurs from Turok, actually. Especially the N64, the game cover. They look a lot like that. Does anyone remember Turok? That's a game I always wanted to play, but I never got around to doing it. Could never find it anywhere. Okay, I may have mocked the red eye earlier for dealing out like not a lot of damage, but They're taking my life away surprisingly quickly. It's not even the red eye you're having to fight during this, it's just the tedium and your magic meter running out, really. I think when I first heard that Fox from McCloud was going to fight dinosaurs, this is what I had in mind, but ironically this is the shittest time fighting dinosaurs. It's so dull. I like how when we hit one of them down, they're just pretty much like, I won't get up now, it's your time to kill me. I've been defeated in combat. I choose to have a prideful death by giving up. Now see over by the bomb plant there, if you actually blow up the wall there's another Bathomdad. I don't think I got the Bathomdad bag, which lets you carry 10 of them. God, the day's just going really quickly here. It was pink a minute ago, now it's an orange again. Is the sky reflecting my mood? Despite the tedium, it's actually going rather quickly. Who here is sick of, like, that kind of animation of him picking stuff up? Because I am. I'm very sick of it. And it's like I mentioned earlier, I'm sorry for the salt, people, but like, this is really dull. And that's both for this red eye teeth, so let's go kick this red eye king's butt. Yay. I had some fire at the beginning of that sentence, but it just ran out by the end. It's the salt. Now, from what I know, apparently the Earthwalkers are supposed to be the kings of Dinosaur Planet. But, like, they're lame. They're lame. And the Cloud Runners are kind of like, I guess the Cloud Runners and the Earthwalkers are rivals because they could both be rulers. But they're both so dull and unlikable. Now that I think about it, there aren't many likable dinosaur tribes. The Thorntail are pretty cool. They have a warp stone. Let's go fight this thing. Now you're probably thinking it's just another red eye we're going to fight here. Just another small, boring, dull... Oh shit. Well, luckily Tricky didn't come with us because he'd probably die here. I have some questions and I'll be asking them after this cutscene ends, but holy shit. We're in trouble. Run, Fox, for the love of God, run! Now this, despite its size, this can be quite an easy boss fight, honestly. Now, a couple of questions. Is this where they keep the red eye? Is this where he clipped through the ceiling there? Is this where they imprison the red eye? Like, they kind of look after them here, I guess. It must be, because this can't be a boss area designed specifically for the red eye for no other reason besides that. That would be dumb. Now what you're doing here is basically shocking the dinosaur like, I showed you that. Shocking the dinosaur could be a dance move, by the way, it sounds amazing. And then just throwing the explosive barrels at them. That is basically what you're doing. You do that, then run like fuck away, because he can do a shitload of damage to you. Just by touching you. I probably should have hidden that little alcove there. Because he's getting closer, as you can hear. Getting a bit too close. Yeah, I got hit. Now this actually took me a long time during recording, but luckily I fade out a lot of it. But you're basically just doing the same thing for the entire fight. It gets progressively harder. Like he gives you less time when he falls over for you to throw the barrel at him. But this is basically the same thing. Now, how do the Earthwalkers keep this thing in line? Look how massive it is. It's like Godzilla. Now the basic pattern for this is I would, depending on the distance, wait until he's about halfway through that roar. Gives you enough time, really. Now, what you should do, instead of what I just did there, is you should open that thing before you press the switch and pick it up, because you can still press the switch while holding the barrel. See, like I messed up there, but luckily I fade out the rest of this, so you won't have to sit through me doing another 5 times. And as you do more damage, the other electrical switches stop being able to be used. So like, he's coming from that way now, so I'm going to have to run down this corridor. He also gets a little bit more tricky to fight, because like Oh god, I said that pun again. He kind of gets a bit more unpredictable. Now he's going to fall right in front of me here, so luckily, the risk factor of him hitting me is high, but also means we can throw that barrel at him straight away. Now be prepared for unrealistic levels of athleticism. Why did he have the spell stone? That's pretty gruesome. Hell yeah. The fuck? If we could do that, why don't we just jump to the other planet instead of getting in the R-Wing? We have just murdered a creature. Feel good about that. Oh god, look at Fox's eyes. Well, that's the end of the walled city, people. Enjoy.
Have you got it? Dad, look what we've got.
Well done. You have both made me very proud. Do not worry, son.
Don't say that, King of Orca. It reminds me too much of my father, and you know the pain of that. I don't get what that little look's for.
Now let's waste no more time.
That kind of little sigh he does, like a sigh of resignation. I literally don't understand why he does that. And that's it for the walled city. We're pretty much done here. We've got the spellstone, so we just need to go back and put it in the volcano force point. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it, people? And Tricky could, you know, okay, he's coming with us. I wish he would have stayed here, honestly. And that's it for the walled city. I'll see you next time in part 14 of the Star Fox Adventures playthrough, when we go take this baby back to the volcano force point and go get our fourth spellstone. See you then.